Good morning students. Today we discuss about 11th commerce subject. So in this video we discuss about the difference between business, profession and employment. In the previous classes we discussed about the various topics, that is meaning, definition of a business activity, and also various types of business activities, and the difference between economic activity and non-economic activity, and also various classification of business activities and objectives of business activities. So in this video we discuss about the difference between business, profession and employment. So the first topic point of view, mode of establishment. Promoters, decision registration and other formalities as prescribed by law. So in the case of business, promoters means the person who responsible in order to start the business. So promoter decision registration and other formalities are to be done in the case of business. But in the case of profession, membership of a professional body or certificate of practice. Because of a professional business is based on only personal qualification of the human beings. Employment, service contract or letter of appointment is called as an employment. Nature of work, goods and service provided to the public. In the case of business, goods and services are to be provided by the people, those who are running the business, to the needed persons. Profession, personalized service of the expert nature. So professional persons, they should provide service to the needed person, and for that doing service they collect their revenue. Employment, performing work assigned by the employer. So whatever the work given by the employer, that work should be done by the employee. So performance work assigned by the employer is the nature of work in the case of employment. Qualification, in the business point of view, no minimum qualification is essential, because of every one of person, those who are having capable of doing business and capital, they can start it. So qualification, education qualification is not essential for running the business. Talent to run the business, it is enough, and capital, sufficient capital. Profession, educational and training is specialized field. In the case of a profession, the qualification should be must, because of it is professional business. So those who start the professional business, they must have professional qualification and also a proper training in their field. Employment, minimum qualification is essential for the respective job. So whatever the job created in the business, for any person appointed in that job, they need a relevant qualification. Basic motive, earning profit is the basic need of the business. So profit motive is the main motive of the business. In the case of profession, rendering service is the motive of profession. Service is the first, then earning revenue is the secondary one. Employment, earning wages or salary by servicing the employer. So earning wages or salary is the motive of employment. Capital, capital investment required as per size of the firm. So depends upon the size of the business, the capital will be necessary. So capital investment will be based on the size of the business. Profession, limited capital is necessary for starting the professional business. That is, not to run the professional business, only we need a less amount of capital. And then employment point of view, no capital is required, because of a person work under employer, so no need to put any capital. Reward, profit is the reward for running the business. For profession, professional fee is the reward for rendering service in the case of profession. In the case of employment, Wages and salary are considered to be the reward for doing the work assigned by the employer. Risk, profit are uncertain and irregular in the case of business. So profit is not to be a certain one. It should be uncertain and irregular. But in the case of profession, fee is regular and certain, never negative. Because of after the service is provided by the professionalist, they can collect a service charge, that is a fees. So it is a regular one. In the case of employment, a fixed and regular pay, no risk. In the case of employment, a pay will be the fixed one and it should be a regular one. Transfer of interest. Transfer possible with some formalities in the case of business. Because of business is done by any person who will have source and some knowledge. That is, to do the business, knowledge is enough. So transfer of interest is possible in the case of a business. Profession not possible because of and professionalist, they can do their work with the help of the qualification. So no person will join with him to do the business. In the case of employment, it is also not transferable. The work will not be transferred to some other person. Whatever the work assigned by the employer to the employee means that type of employee should do the work. So there is no chance for transfer of a work in the case of employment. Code of ethics. No specific code of conduct, moral and ethical dealings only. So no specific code of conduct in the case of a business. Moral and ethical dealings only will be possible in the case of running the business. But professional code of ethics are possible in the case of professional business. In the case of employment, rules and regulations of the employing organization. So all the worker, all the employee, they must follow the rules and regulations fixed by the employer. So under the control of the employer, they can work. So code of ethics is possible in the case of employment. So these are some of the important points of difference between business, profession and employment. So with that we conclude this video, and also this chapter will be completed, chapter number 2. So students, you can go through both the video 1 and video 2 and learn all the topics and understand it, and you can write it in your commerce assignment notebook, both topic and answers. All the topics will be asked in the respective questions, whether 2 mark, 3 mark or 5 mark questions. So read all the topics with answers, write it in your commerce assignment notebook, keep the notebook safely, and you should bring it on school reopening day without fail. And all must send task complete message in their respective group. Thank you.